Happy Monday, everyone. Bunny 9 to 5. All right, so I've been seeing trending videos about online dating and catfishing. Have you ever been catfished or catfished anyone? Okay, so I was talking to this guy for 3 months on the phone, exchanging pictures. And again, at the time, I had an Android phone. I did not have an iPhone, so I didn't know what FaceTiming was, okay? So perhaps that's a red flag number one, okay? At the time, I didn't have a car either, so I rode my bike downtown to meet up with this guy for our date. I just pulled up, I'm downtown, where the fuck you at? You better show up because I just drove down here for an hour and a half. All right, I don't accept that type of treatment, but I just thought the guy was playing around, stupid me. So anyways, I still showed up. I walked over to the restaurant. When I looked at him, as he didn't look like his picture, okay? In his pictures, he was buff, had hair. This guy that I met at the restaurant, yeah, he was tall, over 6 feet. His voice didn't sound the same, like he was bald-headed, and he wore glasses, okay, prescription glasses. So red flag number 2 is that this guy didn't appear to look like his picture. He starts telling me, hey, the picture I've been using, that's from 10 years ago. I've put on a lot of weight. I've put on like 60 pounds. And that picture's when I felt most confident about myself, because that was when I was the most fit in my life. I don't have hair anymore because I started receding 10 years ago. So I just shave it all off. Red flag number 2, and again, at the time, like I said, I was talking to this guy for 3 months. So I liked the guy that I was talking to on the phone, okay? So I was willing to look past that. I didn't care, like, what he looked like. He was still good looking. To me, he was still good looking. Okay, great. Having a good time. I wasn't really feeling the food, so I'm like, at the time I was really into drinking, so I was like having a good time with myself, drinking the champagne. So after that, he starts telling me, you have a small mouth, like small lips. I'm like, oh, okay. I think that was like red flag number 3. So he says, can I see your ID? And I'm like, oh, sure. All right. He starts saying, oh, wow, you don't look anything like your license picture. You just look really old in that picture. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So, haha. And I'm thinking like, all right, so this is what, red flag number 3. Still seemed playful, but at the same time, like, I don't know, is he dissing me? Like, so you're pointing my flaws out here, so, and when you don't even really, look like yourself, like the pictures he's been sending me, and you don't look like yourself. So still drinking my champagne. So we leave the date. He's like, how about we hang out a little more and let's get to know each other a little more. Do you want to go get some drinks or go back to like a motel? I'm like, no, we can go get some drinks. So we went down across the street to this taqueria. So we had a few beers there, like 2 or 3. I didn't want to get too drunk or too buzzed or anything because, again, I was on a bike. So, I have to be safe. We're having a good time at the taqueria, just laughing, all right? So now I'm like, I got to go. I have a curfew, like, because it's already going to be 9:30. So he started walking me outside. I didn't want him to see where I parked my bike because I didn't want him to see what kind of bike I was on and follow me home or anything because I didn't know him like that. We kissed. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And he really enjoyed it. It was very obvious. And he did tell me that he liked it. Then he says, would you like to go like get a hotel and like we get to know each other a little more and just relax? And I'm like, no, because we already talked about that, for 3 months. I already told you my boundaries. He's like, all right, thank you so much. Left. A couple of days later, he hits me up. He's like, would you like to go out this weekend? I'm like, sure. What do you have in mind? Let me check my schedule. So he says, how about we get a hotel and we have a fancy dinner? I'm like, well, what do you like at the hotel to do what? Like, because I've never spent the night with a man. I've never had a one-night stand. We talked about this already, and I don't do no sleepovers with no men and all. But, I had fun on our last date. How about we do something else? And he was like, no. So he starts texting me all this crazy shit. He starts saying, you fucking fat bitch, you're so ugly, you're over 300 pounds, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you're so fat and ugly, should have never given you a chance at you, bitch. I spent $60 on our date. I drove a whole hour and a half away to see you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? So I called him. I'm like, hey, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I'm like, what's your fucking problem? I'm like, everything seemed fine just because I'm saying no because I don't want to have sex with you. Like, really? And $60 ain't shit. So you ain't no baller. I'm not impressed. And I've gone out on dates with other men who've spent way more than $60. Oh, fuck you. So I didn't want to go back and forth with this guy anymore. So I blocked his number. Well, I started receiving phone calls from private numbers. I started leaving voicemails saying, you fucking bitch, blah, blah, blah. And then he started sending me songs, oldies, like Brenton Woods, Me and You. So I'm a little traumatized from some oldies songs. So this guy was like, yeah, I apologize and I hope we can go out again. And, I'm sorry. I got a little angry. And I wasn't answering his calls. Like, I'm done with this guy. So he keeps calling. He leaves more voicemails. You fucking bitch. Not answering because you think you're too good. You fucking ugly fat bitch. Blah, 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 blah. So I finally changed my number. Look his name up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. He just happens to be on all these social medias, and I blocked him on all of them. Even though I changed my phone number, I was still receiving text messages and suspicious phone calls, and it was just weird. So after that, I stopped meeting people online. I drew the line there. Never again online dating. That's just my opinion, though. In my personal experience with that, no to online dating. Stay safe out there. Stay true to yourself, and stay safe.